Why, hello everybody, it's me, Marcel Torak, and we're back with our darling Dahala. Isn't she just so pretty? I loves her. Alright, so, first things first, I'm the realist. Let's see who's gonna hang out with us today. Oh, the Puff of Darkness! This is one of the pets that we actually got from the raids we did last week, so that's kind of exciting. Well, hello, Puff of Darkness. You can join us in our crazy fun today. Speaking of crazy fun today, we are introducing Yugiri to the Ninja Thieves Guild? Something like that? Hopefully all goes well. I'm sure she'll get along great. She's such a charming lady. Got business with me, Venturer? Why, yes, I do. So you're the woman the Admiral sent word of. I was hoping to catch a glimpse of Thancred, too. Been a while since I saw his shit-eating grin. But what with all the doe-eyed wenches about, I expect he's got his hands full. Ah, and you must be the Far Easterner. What Merylweb says wants to train with us. Welcome to Limsa, milady. I am Yugiri of Doma. 'Tis an honor to make your acquaintance. I must confess, when I first learned of your organization, I had certain preconceptions as to the nature of your membership. It would seem I was mistaken. You're not the first person to say that, lass. Limsa is a city full of pirates, to be sure, and pirates don't give two farts about keeping a spotless reputation. They hardly need a secret society to do their dirty work. Might be as my people and I keep to the shadows, but we've got nothing to be ashamed of. It's simply better for business that we remain unseen. And so you have developed fighting techniques suited for this purpose. I see. Know that the practitioners of my art, too, are denizens of the shadow. 'Tis in stealth that our strength lies. There is much we might learn from one another, I think. Then what in the seven hells are we waiting for? If you'd come with us, Yugiri, we can get acquainted with more private surrounds. Ha! That didn't come out right, did it? No, it did not. Lady Dahala, I shall remain with these people for a time, that I might study their ways. Though I am loath to be separated from my countrymen, I take solace in the knowledge that they are in the best of hands. You have been a true friend to us Domans. No words would suffice to express my gratitude. Ere long, I hope to begin imparting my martial knowledge to the people of Eorzea. When that time comes, it would be my honor to welcome you as a student. Much and more has occurred since I first beheld Eorzea from the galleon's deck. Suffice it to say, I did not envisage such being... Let me try that again. Suffice it to say, I did not envisage being invited to play a part in your noble struggle. But forgive me, I have kept you over long. Doubtless you have pressing business of your own. Rest assured that I no longer require an escort in this land. When next you meet Lady Minfilia, pray relay to her my humblest thanks. Would that I could do so in person, but I must needs fulfill my promise to the Admiral. Till we meet again, Warrior of Light. Awesome. You're kicking me out already, huh? Alright. That's a level 50 weapon coffer. It's not going to be an upgrade. Wait a second. It's on your shoulder? That! Oh, I absolutely love that. You can ride on my shoulder all you want. That is so cute! Hi, Silver. On you busy boys. Oh, look, it's the kids! What if you wanted to solve a problem that's already happened? Like the Garleans destroying Doma? That would be an interesting challenge. On behalf of the Scions, I bid you welcome to the Rising Stones. With your cooperation, we hope to grow rich and transform this place into the piling gold. Oh, Dahala! Forgive me, but I must see to the Doman's needs. Okay, that was cute. Alright, Thancred, what do you have to say? Some 15 years ago, a mission took me to Ul'dah. 'Twas then that I first chanced to gaze upon your beauty. I was utterly transfixed. I dared not blink lest I deprive myself of even a split second of your radiance. Oh, Thancred, you're so embarrassing!
I have been reflecting upon the events which took place during our visit to Vilbrand. If you have a moment, I would share my conclusions with you. Please, bear with me. When the Sahagin Elder summoned Leviathan, he employed the power we have come to know as the Echo. Though I cannot well explain the how of it, it would seem he became immortal in so doing. When the Admiral subsequently slew him, his spirit emerged from his lifeless flesh, a consciousness shorn of physical form. Thus transfigured, he took up residence in the body of his minion with the ease of a man donning a favorite glove. Long have I known that the Echo allows one to pass through the walls of a man's soul, but never did I imagine that it could free us from our own flesh, nor less that our souls could then occupy the next corporeal vessel to take our fancy. It was of this that Elidibus spoke, an existence which knows neither cessation nor oblivion. And yet, though the Sahagin had mastered his gift and thereby become immortal, he was by no means invulnerable. As we both bore witness, he was ultimately absorbed into Leviathan. And the import of this observation? If the Ascians' mode of existence is indeed the same, it can be inferred that they too are not invulnerable, that they can be destroyed. There exists a legend which tells of souls who are reborn upon the cusp of each umbral calamity, that they might stay the encroaching darkness. To most, it is but a fairy tale, yet recent events have given me cause to wonder, could the legend in fact refer to the Echo? Much and more yet remains unknown, but I am confident that all will become clear in time. For the present, however, what matters is that the key to defeating the Ascians may at last be within sight. With Urianger's aid, it is my hope that I shall fathom this matter ere long. Oh, I was just about to send for you, my friend. Is Artemis?
Grave tidings from the Sharlayan motherland, my lady. It doth concern our distant allies, the students of Baldessian.
What of them?
My lady, the Isle of Val, which for many years hath been the Order's home, is no more.
No more? Whatever do you mean?
I relate only that which hath been conveyed unto me by our agents. An etheric wave of the highest magnitude was recorded in the region. Soon thereafter, 'twas observed that the isle had ceased to be. 'Tis postulated that a magic was evoked, like in power to Ultima.
12 preserve.
That doesn't sound good. Like an entire group of people just...
If there are no other matters, I move that today's meeting be adjourned.
Well, he sat there for a while.
It is done, my lord. I... Forgive my impertinence, my lord, but these orders, I am uncertain as to what end they serve.
Revolution.
Oh, Mr. Nice Guy isn't Mr. Nice Guy, apparently. That looks like some kind of scheming bad plotsy plots. Our friends. The very isle itself? Everyone and everything? No. No, it avails us not to speculate. Urianger will send word if there are any developments. Until such time as he does, we must remain firmly focused on that which is within our power to change. With that in mind, I would speak of a different matter, one closer to home. It concerns etheric fluctuations which we had previously attributed to good King Mughal Marx XII. May he forever be glorious in heaven. Sorry. That just made me giggle so much when the Mughals were doing it. That the king is no more is a blessing for which we have you to thank. Yet it is not well in the Twelves Wood. Our latest readings reveal an ongoing etheric disturbance of considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. Needless to say, the mere possibility warrants immediate investigation, and I would have you... Asilla? I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What manner of problem? A band of refugees, hailing from Ul'dah this time, have come to Revenant's Toll seeking asylum. It would seem they expect us to afford them the same treatment we gave the Domans. At present, they are in the 7th heaven, awaiting a formal response. I see. Mayhap this was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. Asilla, you know full well we haven't the resources to accommodate many more people. Consider what would happen if you do. Word will spread, and more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear their suit. Dahala, I should be grateful for your presence at this meeting. Oh boy. they're coming from Ul'dah seeking refuge, and it does kind of... How would they have already made it all the way out here? Or unless it's just like a really small group of people asking in the first place? Like, we had to go through a bit of effort to get everybody from Revenant's, or from the Waking Sands to Revenant's Toll. So I don't see it being so easy that they could just trundle on up here with everybody and be like, hey, so you're gonna take us in too, right? Ah, here you are. Oh, it's just a group of 3. Okay. So they've just come here as the, starting party, I guess. I'm not looking forward to this conversation. I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Minfilia, and I lead the Scions of the 7th Dawn. 12 be praised! It is you! We're ready and willing to work, same as the Dolmens. Just give us a task and we'll see it done. Pray, calm yourselves. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know aught of your situation. Beg your pardon, antecedent. I ain't so good with words. We've been living off the scraps of Ul'dah for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace one that got took. They said there's work, but there's not for an honest man. Not as wouldn't sully his soul sooner than his palms, any road. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us up. They climbed up on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, but even I can see what's coming. I knew we had to run. The only question was where. And then it came to me. Revenant's Toll. I mean, you took the foreigners in, didn't you? So surely you'll do the same for us. I fear the situation is rather more complicated. While it is true that we accepted the Dolmen's petition for aid, that decision was the product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but pray understand that it is not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been affected by the calamity. And so it is with great regret that I must deny your request. But well, we got nowhere else to go. You're turning your back on us? If I might have a word... Tataru? Is aught amiss? Ill tidings from Ul'dah, my lady. Alphinaud has been wounded! What? How? Is it serious? I cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the Flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild, apparently, lashing out at any and everyone. That can't be right. Why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. 7 hells! Now the Blades will have an excuse. They'll round us up and kill anyone who tries to resist. Antecedent, please! If you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we've got. Milady, we are not the ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding this riot, I am not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for their actions. How can you be so blind? Find Alphinaud and quickly. If he is in danger or worse, I would have you and none other be by his side. Thank you. Pray do not concern yourself with the matter we were discussing earlier. Yida and Papalima will see to it. Alphino has been treated at the hourglass. Hurry, Dahala! I have a feeling that riot was what was being hinted at in that little scene with that dude, who I thought was a nice guy because he wanted to help the Dolmens. But it seems that he might be a sneaky, suspicious kind of guy. And... Either way. Well, since Alphino's standing here, his injuries must not be serious.
Come, you must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well. Ul'dah, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident. There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over. Ul'dah is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life. To an Ul'dan, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence. So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity? Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'dan way of thinking, they may as well not exist. Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Uldans to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers, while more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry. The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Dolmens asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest, nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence. That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
Oh yeah, this was all a plot. I can just... Too many coincidences. Like, seriously, way too many coincidences. You guys can see that, right? The Immortal Flames, the only people that are actively supporting these guys, are out of town. We just took in the Dolmens, so now the refugees are trying to run to us and be like, will you help us? And then they try to do a peaceful demonstration, but it turns into a riot. And that's so easy to do, because even if everybody in the crowd who actively went to that demonstration to support that demonstration could absolutely not have lifted a finger. But all it takes is one person in that crowd who's not actually one of them, but is dressed like one of them, to throw a rock and shit hits the fan. I mean, in real life, how many peaceful demonstrations have ended up falling into violence because one person jumped the gun out of panic or out of maliciousness and everything fell apart? Loads of times. So, as I've told you before, it's all but inevitable that the incident of this kind would have eventually occurred given the rising tensions within the Sultanate. Nevertheless, I have reason to believe that this particular riot may not have begun spontaneously. I have piqued your curiosity? Good. Then you will accompany me to the Hall of Flames. I would hear what General Raban has to say on the matter. You know, I realize that the Scions of the Seventh Dawn are a neutral party and that we don't serve any nation, but don't you think sometimes that they kind of act like they are their own nation? I mean, seriously, he's just gonna go right up to Raban and be like, so, what the hell happened here? Like, you kid are gonna take this grown man to task? Seriously? Also, if you remember my excitement last week over the butterfly wings, I did Google it. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the name of the wings, but I found out you could purchase them. And I did go indeed purchase them on my other character. I'll have to look up the name again. And see if I can't get them for Dahala, but they probably would be pricey to purchase. But I'd have to go through every single expansion to get to the part where I could try to unlock those wings, so it's probably just better for me to go and buy them. I just have to see if I have enough money. Now is not a good time, Dahala. My hands are full dealing with the refugees. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Alphino, back on your feet already. You may credit my swift recovery to your churigans. My memories of the riot are still somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation? Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, but not before the unrest had spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remain throughout Thanalan. We've sent what forces we can spare to root out the last of the belligerents, but progress is slow. They are damnably elusive. I can well imagine, given that the majority of the refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason that they would know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little accident, I observed that several of the refugees were armed, and not with butcher's knives or pitchforks, but with actual martial weaponry. I need hardly add that such equipment is costly. None can deny that tensions between the Uldan citizenry and the refugee population have increased since the Domans were turned away. But would that motivate a starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? I think not. And what of those who've not even a single guild to spend? Who could not survive without the aid provided by the immortal flames? Surely they would sooner sell a weapon than bring it to bear against their benefactors. Come to the point. Very well. My point, General, is that this powder keg of discontent was not set alight by chance. These events were deliberately set in motion and now order must be restored. That is my first duty. Until it is done, any investigation can wait. I do not have the time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning anon. The general is no fool. He keeps his own counsel, and with good cause. Were he to claim, without the necessary proof, that these riots were instigated by outside forces, the monetarist would accuse him of attempting to shirk responsibility. After all, he and the Sultana have been the most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. Regardless, they will face harsh criticism in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities, Dahala. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation, independent of the authorities. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlements suspected of harboring belligerents. Commander Swift will know where they are. He may balk at the request for such information, but I've no doubt you can persuade him with your silver tongue. I, meanwhile, shall seek answers in my own way, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? You know, Kid's got a good heart, and he's definitely trying to do a good thing, but he's such a little pompous brat at the same time. At least, that's just the tone. You look as though you have something to say, Dahala. Do you? What you ask is no simple favor. Were such information to fall into the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there is wisdom in your words. An able individual may be better suited to this task than a regiment. Very well. The Brass Blades have reported suspicious activity in the vicinity of Lost Hope. It may be unrelated to recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin speaking with the Blades posted there. Lost Hope, huh? Where is it? Where has my hope? Oh, where can it be? I'm so poor and hungry now. Oh, where could my hope be? You know, with a settlement this close to an Aetherite town, why don't they just live in the town? And well, at least Leofric won't give me crap. He'll tell me straight. I didn't expect them to send you, Dahala. I take it this means someone has read my report. The refugees who left with the merchant have yet to return, and I am increasingly concerned that Zazawaka's suspicions were correct. You haven't the foggiest idea what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind. Speak with Zazawaka. He will explain everything. And what brings you here, adventurer? A search for refugees? Well then, you've come to the right place. Ah, you mean those refugees. Oh, no, you won't find them here. Most of the people of Lost Hope have come to accept their situation and are content to pass their days in peace and quiet. Outsiders have trouble understanding that, like that merchant who passed through recently. Gregarious fellow, but awfully opinionated. Can't say I was sad to see him go. Okay. This is definitely sounding a lot like someone did a really bad thing. No, I didn't mark the gun. Ah! Don't hurt me! I'm not one of them! I beg your pardon? You're not a flame? I see. If Leofric bid you speak with me, then I'll take it that you've agreed to help. 'Twill be praised for that, because we haven't a moment to waste. Everyone knows the flames are on the march. The others have fallen under that fanatic spell, but not I. Promises of revolution and retribution, of holding the ruling class to account and taking that which is owed. Ha! A childish fantasy. I did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving, but few would heed my words. Now that none of our idealists have returned, however, the madness of the merchant's plan is plain for all to see. Look behind yonder tent and you will understand why. Even now he babbles incoherently, so traumatized he is by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I can make little sense of his words beyond the fact that he was not alone in surviving, yet I've no doubt that merchant will lead the remainder to their doom. I beg of you, find them before he does. What are you doing? Don't draw. Don't draw. Don't draw. Don't draw. Don't draw! Why didn't you run away with me? We could have escaped together. Then you'd be here with me. Be here to soothe me. Why did you have to stay and leave me alone? This guy is definitely traumatized. Like, that is hardcore PTSD right there. Who are you? What do you want? It's true. I followed the merchant, and may the gods strike me down from my folly. But they will not give, you must take, he said. When we asked how, he revealed a cache of weapons he had brought, and implored us to seize control of our fates. I thought about running then and there, but the others were so excited. He split us into 2 groups, sent us off on our own. But when the flames found us, we didn't know what to do. Our leader tried to parley with theirs. But then they started arguing, and then fighting, and then everyone was fighting, and the flames were shouting to give no quarter, and... Oh gods, the other group, they're still out there. If we don't stop them, they'll be massacred like mine was. The other refugees are hiding in the caves south of Lost Hope, but to approach them would be fruitless. They would sooner call us agents of the Sultanate and try to kill us than listen to reason. Why, the twins might even deign to do the deeds themselves. A pox and all bloody sellswords! They were supposed to train us to fight, but the ones he sent with us vanished during the struggle. If only we would never listen to that merchant's ridiculous claims. He said our cause was righteous, that the gods would never suffer us to be defeated. Though if we knew we were forced to confront reality... Though, if we were forced to confront reality, that's it! Challenge the twins to combat and show my brethren that their strongest warriors are no match for one woman. Maybe then they'll agree to lay down their arms and renounce this plot. Quite a few people here. 7 hells! They found us! Everyone, grab your gear and make for the rendezvous point! So that's your game, is it? Ha 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 ha! Sorry to disappoint you, lass, but we're more than willing to kill ourselves. Or kill you ourselves. Okay. You ready to talk, old man? You beat him like it was nothing! God almighty, what are we gonna do now? Go home. You've returned! Did you find my brethren? Where are the twins? What happened? I see. Well, you had no choice. Better that than a handful of them take a beating. Better that a handful of them take a beating from you than the whole lot getting butchered by the flames. Tell me, what did the merchant have to say when it was over? Huh? Well, where else would he be? Unless he went to Stone's Throw to recruit others? There. You know what? I think that is an upgrade, so I think I'll actually take the day starter. The merchant wished to approach the refugees in Stone's Throw, but was waiting until the flames withdrew their forces from the vicinity. Now that they have, there's nothing to stop him from continuing his work. How many more must perish in pursuit of this futile cause? How much more suffering must me endure before it ends? Find him, convince him to cease his mad quest. It will surely lead us to ruin. Oh yeah, I can see this is going to not be a happy ending story already. They told me to stay here with the others. They said they'd be back soon. But it's been days. They left me with the man from Ul'dah. The man said that they were going to change everything. Make it so we could live inside the walls with everyone else. I liked it when he said that. I didn't like it when he talked about making the rich people pay. Everyone looked so angry. And I got scared. Say, miss, are you looking for someone? You mean the man who left with my parents? But I don't know where he... Wait, look! Over there! I think that's him! Well now, which of these gullible fools shall be my next victim? You! He's getting away! Go get him, man! As I don't even start moving at all. Like, I just stand there. Am I that confident? Yep, yeah, I am. Hey, Papa Sean. I'm about to start shit in your town area. Be prepared. Oh, shit. I have another bad feeling. You again? What? What's suing me? Sedition? Treason? Revolution? That's preposterous! Who has filled your head with these lies? Refugees? The self-same refugees who terrorize the streets of Ul'dah? Ha! You have no evidence to prove your accusations. None. No, I will not accompany you to the Hall of Flames. You have no right to detain me. For the sake of argument, let's say I did do the things you claim. Surely you don't think I'd give a queer-crin's arse about politics. It was business. Only business. Yep, I had a bad feeling. We both know I am not the one you want. However, if you agree to protect me, I swear I shall tell you everything. What's all this commotion? 7 hells! Tell the others to spread out and search the area. The killer may still be close. Hold, adventurer. I would know more about your relationship with the victim, as well as the events leading up to his death. This man was responsible for the recent riots? Mayhap we owe his murderer a debt of gratitude. In any case, it is obvious you are not the one we seek. You may carry on with your investigation, Scion. So now where am I going? Oh. Back to die! I don't know why, but that outfit, even though it was pink, reminds me of Mortal Kombat. That blue chick and that green chick. Don't remember their names. What news, Dahala? Where is the merchant? Murdered? Damn it all to the 7th hell! He was not simply murdered, Dahala. He was silenced. Too many knew his face, and he was ready to divulge his secrets. Do not despair, though. We may be closer to identifying the true orchestrator of these riots than you realize. I'm not even sure. Okay, so strength and determination, definitely vitality. But tenacity is a tanky stat, isn't it? Yeah, see, tenacity. So... strength 20. Skill speed, vitality, tenacity. Yeah, I think this is... okay. The Flame General left word that you were to proceed to the Fragrant Chamber as soon as you returned. He wishes to discuss your recent discoveries, as well as the results of our own investigation. Master Alphinaud has already been informed and should be waiting for you outside. Pray proceed to the Royal Promenade with all haste and speak with Bartholomew. Oh, he has an umbrella, that's cool. Goodness, when am I going to get my next paladin quest? We have been expecting you, madame. Please proceed inside.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
This information does not leave this room. The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination. Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters. It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Taleji Adeleji.
The guy that was hiring and supporting refugees. Why is he killing refugees?
Taleji Adeleji. But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Know you of the Carteneau Reclamation Bill? It is a proposal to annex the Carteneau Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield. The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Carteneau Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Alagon ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations. In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Teleji Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill. A shameless bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Alagan ruin.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean Alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartano Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domans was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Teleji Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
Omega.
Pardon?
An Alagan monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated. Alagan inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cartano Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon. One which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Garleans did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Uldar.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
Well. Shit. I should be glad to know the truth, and yet the thought that all of this chaos was the product of one man's lust for power sickens me. How long do you think they intend to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions? That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be in our best interest to learn more of the military activities in the disputed territories. You are, of course, the scion best suited to this task. Corporal Silverlight, do take a moment to visit the Adder's Nest and make inquiries at the earliest available opportunity. Be gone! Well, this is no place for children! I'm sorry. I was looking for you, miss. You said you were looking for the man who left with my parents. You know this girl? So he visited Stone's Throw as well. I see. Did you find the man? Were my parents with him? They were not, I'm afraid. However, I can think of several places they might be. If you like, we can go and look for them together. Really? You'll help me look, mister? Of course. But first I must needs finish speaking with my friend. She's telling me a secret, you see, so no one else is allowed to listen. Maybe you could wait for me by that pillar over there? Will require but a moment. Okay, mister. I'll be waiting. I'll take her to the quicksand. Mayhap Momodi will know what to do. A legion of Garleans, an aether-starved primal, even dealing with an Ascian would be preferable to this charade. Sometimes I fear Minfilia is too ambitious. We rush hither, thither, and yon in response to threats as they rise, without concern for the strain it places on our limited resources, and ourselves. Mayhap the time has come for a change. Dahala, this is Minfilia. I know this is sudden, but I must ask you to return to Revenant's Toll with all due haste. The situation in the Twelveswood has taken a turn for the worse. I will explain in detail once you arrive. The Twelveswood? Then the primal threat she spoke of before has been confirmed? I have received no reports of Ixal activity, which leaves... the Sylphs? Go, Dahala. You know as well as I that the appearance of a primal takes precedence over all else. Oh, and when you arrive, do inform the antecedent that while I am grateful for her concern, she needn't fear for my safety. I am more than capable of protecting myself. Sorry. I wonder if Thancred is still drunkenly flirting with Flamen. That was hilarious. It is a relief to see you healthy and hale, Dahala. The latest news from Ul'dah was most disturbing. Clearly, the only injury Alphonse suffered was to his ego. Doubtless it will heal ere long. The other scions will need to be present for this meeting. If you are ready to begin, I will summon them now. Okay, strength, skill, speed, vitality, crit. Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you here were it not urgent. To business, then. I have received some most disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe that the Sylphs may have called forth their revered guardian, the primal Ramu. I'm sorry, may have? Then is it not certain? The Elder Seedseer informs us that the elementals themselves murmur of the Lord of Leven's return to the forest. The Sylphan lands, however, display no signs of undue commotion. Forgive me, antecedent, but the fact needs not contradict the elemental's testimony. Unlike his more bellicose compeers, Garuda and so on, Ramu is reputed to act only in the defense of his children. I imagined he would soon make his presence known if any were foolish enough to directly endanger the Sylphs or their territory. The abruptness of this development concerns me. Were we not keeping a close watch on the Touched Ones and their movements? If preparations for summoning ritual were indeed underway, 'twould surely not have escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure it was going to happen. Just not this soon. I beg your pardon? You foresaw this eventuality and did naught to prevent it? I told Papalimo! I suppose I could have reported things to Minfilia earlier, but there honestly wasn't much we could do except wait and see. You know how the Sylphs feel about people poking around in their territory. They already summoned Ramal once after the calamity, but that was only because the Garleans came tramping through the forest. And so long as Castrum Orient stands, the Sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing to have their guardian deity on hand. In short, Yida and I are in agreement. The actions of the forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. And I maintain that observation would have remained the best policy had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers into the Black Shroud. That, alas, we did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Ul'dah drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the trees. 'Tis like that the Sylphs perceived this panicked migration as yet another invasion and quickened their efforts to summon their god. I am put in mind of Titan and the kobolds. Once again, it is the affairs of men which have paved the way for a primal's coming. Indeed, one cannot help but wonder what manner of place Eorzea would be without the civilizing influence of mankind. Be that as it may, this regrettable development does afford us a unique opportunity. Dahala, through your dealings with the Sylphs of Little Solus, you once succeeded in preventing an untimely conflict in Gridania. I wonder, might one who has treated with the Sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity? If Ramah can be convinced of our intentions, it may be the first step to breaking the cycle of primal summoning. A fond hope. Were such things possible, we would not have been at war with the Beastmen since time immemorial. But this time, maybe we can! Let us continue this discussion anon. We must needs first consult with the nations most affected by Ramu's presence. The Elder Seedseer has requested your personal involvement, Dahala. Pray report to Commander Julio at Adder's Nest as soon as you are able. Steel yourself for the worst. While I hope for a peaceful resolution in this matter, experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of Leven will prove less than amicable. In any such event, your fellow scions will of course lend you whatever support you require. Alright, we're off to Gridania. I do believe I need to go this way. Corporal Silverlight, your arrival has been most anticipated. The appearance of a rival is ever cause for alarm and unease. Though my men stand ready for any eventuality, I know of none more qualified than you to snuff out this threat. Indeed, I would have you do so without delay. The Elder Seedseer, however, would speak with you first. She is of the opinion that your diplomatic rather than martial skills may better serve our cause. I will leave further explanation to our learned leader. Pray make your way to Nulfik's altar. The conjurer in attendance will admit you to the Lotus Stand. Oh, I'm here. Apply for a promotion. Oh, I need to do the hunting log before I can get a promotion. Okay, fair enough. I might have to do that at some point. Though I'm not sure if working my way up the ranks is super important. I mean, it doesn't look like the gear gets any better after level 50 in there, and so there's no point in trying to get an upgrade from the stuff. And I'm not sure there's anything else that you can get from the factions that's really worth it. I'll have to look into it a little bit more maybe. For now, we're off to see the Seedseer. The wonderful Seedseer of Gridania. The other scions have already arrived, madame. May I show you in? Gang's all here, including a silk. Cool.
Scions of the Seventh Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramu is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the Sylphs, too, have sensed the presence of the Lord of Leven. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the Primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other Primals you have encountered, Lord Ramu is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelve's Wood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations. The Twelve's Wood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramu himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities. Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples. You have my thanks. Pray make for little solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Levin. An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Twelve's Wood that flinches at its coming. All the lands of Eorzea shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
We're going to a little slow. Corporal Silverlight? I was told to expect you. I understand you go to treat with the primal Ramu himself. An unenviable task, but one for which I have no doubt you're well suited. I have been told that your fellow Scions are conducting an investigation of the area as we speak, that we might ascertain the location of where the Lord of Levin might be found. I would ask that you abide here until they return with their findings. I was told a messenger would be sent as soon as your fellow Scions finish their investigation. I do not imagine it will be much longer. This one returns, and returns with good tidings. Wishes wise ones have finished searching and have wisely identified the precise location where the Touched Ones summoned Lord Ramu. Your timing is impeccable, my fluttery friend. Might you be so kind as to escort this good woman to her fellow Scions? This would be this one's pleasure. Walking one, please, please come with this one. Wise ones have ventured deep, deep within the Sylphlands. These ones must proceed carefully and keep an eye out for Touched Ones. The music around here is kind of cool. However, This one is most sorry, but this one can go no further. Draw too close to Lord Ramu, and this one may turn mean and nasty like the touched ones. And so this one must say farewell for now. Walking One will find wise ones not far from here, to the south. Go in safety, Walking One. Flee, flee for your life, little Maxio. So it's actually you! I am relieved. For a moment I thought we were dealing with another one of those confounded sylph tricksters. I swear, with them wreaking havoc with their skin-changing magics, it's a wonder I was able to finish taking my measurements. Yes, it was quite the ordeal. You should have seen the look on Y'shtola's face when the one impersonating you suddenly showed up. That's quite enough, Papalimo. Ahem. My apologies. It's not like me to ramble so. At any rate, as I was saying, I have finished measuring etheric activity in the area, and am pleased to say I have reached an indisputable conclusion. To wit, that Ramu has called forth in the vicinity of the Sylph's aetherite. Come, Dahala, the Lord of Levin awaits. You know, I'm always confused as to whether or not these guys have the echo. Like, I know obviously Minfilia does, but they never come into the fights against the primals. And they rarely ever actively face them, if you get what I mean? Like, it just...
Tynora betrays thee, servant of hiding. Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and Leviathan. I am Ramu, guardian of the children of the forest. Thou tramplest upon sacred soil, bringer of light. By what right doth man intrude in this sanctuary of the sylphs? The Gridanians proffer peace? Their words are born of delusion, thine offer an insult. Thou speakest of harmony, yet carest naught for my children's desires. They did but wish to dwell beneath these boughs in solitude. Yet even that was too much to ask of man. Thus did they turn to me for succor. The sentence I pronounce upon thy kind is just. Gridanian or Garlean, it matters not. The good intent of one excuseth not the misdeeds of the other. Thy conflicts have brought naught but anguish and misery unto the forest. All blame doth lie with the darkness that resideth in the breast of man. Whence sprung this calamitous seed? In the beginning no such duality existed. Were light and dark given form when man was born?
It would explain much. Not least why strife and sorrow follow ever in thy wake. Thou canst not deny the urgings of thine own nature. Knowing that thy mere presence here portendeth tragedy, wilt thou persist in this pretense of peacemaking? Thou bearest the crystal which I bestowed upon my wayward charges. That they should entrust so precious a gift to thee. Thou standest apart from thy kin. Thou art the bringer of light, aye. But there is something more in thee. Very well. I shall consider thy proposal. Shouldst thou survive my trial. If thou wouldst champion the cause of harmony, I must have proof that thou art fit to play the role. Wither mine ire, and prove to me thereby that thou hast strength enough to stay the darkness which threateneth to consume thee. Yet if thou shouldst be found wanting, know that all men shall perish in the storm of my judgment. Come to me, bringer of light. I shall await thee on the field of battle.
Urianger, it is rare indeed to find you so far from a tome.
The Lord of Levin himself. Never till this day had I looked upon his visage, save in painted renderings made faint by time. Ever shall this scene remain etched in my mind's eye. Beg pardon, my lady.
I'm just a fan.
I must beg thine aid on a point of research. If thou art resolved to face Lord Ramu, I would ask thy leave to observe the event.
Looks like we're going for another dungeon, guys! Yep. Hard. Oh god. I'm scared. Just a little bit. Okay. That was fast. I mean, that's the whole reason why I went to a very busy server, so it would be fast, but holy crap, that was really fast! Come on! Thank you. fell for that. Everybody left, so I don't even get to give a commendation. Well, wait, quick. So, yay.
I have taken thy measure, bringer of light. And I judge thee a worthy champion. The task of excising the sin that hath taken root in man's heart is thine. Shrink not from employing thy strength in service to the forest and the wider realm beyond. Like hungering shadows do the enemies of harmony gather, and meekness will but feed them. If man is to be delivered from the dark, it shall be by thy guiding light alone. Stray not from the path, for if thou dost, thy people shall be truly lost.
No pressure.
Thou hast slain the Lord of Levin. A regrettable act, but a necessary one. In witnessing thy struggle, a truth hath been revealed unto me. If I mistake not, it may yet prove a chink in the eternal armor of the Assyrians. But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the Rising Stones anon.
Corporal Silverlight, you have returned. Dare I ask how Ramu received your visit? He challenged you to a test of arms? It is well, then, that you have some experience in such matters. The peoples of both Gridania and Little Solus will be relieved to hear that the Lord of Levin has accepted you as the forest champion of peace. You performed a monumental duty this day, Corporal Silverlight. The Elder Seedseer must be informed of your deeds at once. The Elder Seedseer will wish to hear of your experiences firsthand. Pray return to Gridania and make directly for the Lotus Stand. The conjurer at the Nofix altar will be expecting you. Fare you well, Corporal Silverlight. Okay.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse, bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this. I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramu ended in conflict. Pray tell me what befell. Ramu made me trial of you. I fear there is truth to claiming. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without. It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartamo, or the rising blood of refugees. Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest. As the scars of calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new realm to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one. Yet I fear that dream is still far off. On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done. Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth.
House would be nice.
Lord Ramu has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
Thus ends another daunting mission, eh, Dahala? I'd hoped Lord Ramu could be persuaded with words alone, but nonetheless, I can only admire the adroitness with which you responded to the Primal's sudden challenge. And it seems that Urianger, too, was pleased with the outcome. What say you, Dahala? Shall we gather back at the Rising Stones and ponder the lesson of the day? around a bit. Hey, Miss Dahala, what's a ramu? Is it cute and fluffy like a horse bird? God, that is so adorable. Oh, there's a little girl. Miss Dahala, is it true you're going adventuring again? I'm so jealous. I like those kids. Welcome back, Dahala. Word of your momentous encounter with Lord Ramu precedes you. I would fain share news of mine own, but Urianger's discoveries must take precedence. Upon witnessing your defeat of the Lord of Levin, our learned companion was struck with a profound insight regarding the nature of the Asian's immortality. Let us assemble and discuss his observations together.
If everyone is ready, let us begin. Urianger, the floor is yours.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the waking sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Asian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Asians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time, Urianger and I have striven to discover a means by which the Asians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence. In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'shtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'shtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Levin's demise. Unlike the primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior. Let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm. In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
"'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls. Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated."
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape. Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, The essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting, and in the claws of a Sahagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits, should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth a distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
I am sorry, my friend.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan. If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection...
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady. Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Ascian soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian. Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
Ooh. The Lord of Levin is returned to the Aether, as was Leviathan before him. Ramu's acquiescence was most intriguing. Inferno, Vortex, Craig, Whirl, and Levin all have now been humbled by the Bringer of Light. The limitless potential of man. Hydaelyn's servant grows mightier by the day. Yet she prospers at a great cost to her mistress, whose strength is all too finite. 7 times have the masses survived the rejoining, but their souls are grown weak and wan. Yet even as it enervates, the ardor empowers our master. All that remains is to nurture the strength of the gifted to forge the final key. And that is the task to which we bend our every effort. Divine seeds were ever wont to quicken in Eorzea's fertile soil. We need only lead men to the field, and by their eager hands shall a new deity arise. That which was shattered shall be made anew, and the one true God shall come again. Now the matter of Ramuh has, for the present, been put to rest. There is something I would show you, Dahala. It is a letter of thanks signed by the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance, acknowledging the Scion's tireless service to the realm. It mentions in particular the names of all the defeated primals, Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Good King Mughal the 12th, may he ever live in heaven, Leviathan, and now Ramuh. Needless to say, there is only one among our number to have faced them all. Although these words were of gratitude were addressed to our order as a whole, I feel they were meant for you above all others. I, too, must offer my heartfelt thanks for all that you have done. In the course of your duties, you have never once failed to answer my call to arms. You are a true hero, Dahala, and Eorzea is that much safer for your presence. Pray do not misunderstand. I said safer, not safe. I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. The Ascians may be relied upon to sow chaos in this realm until such time as they are forced to stop. Why, even without their encouragement, you can be assured that man would foment strife all on his own, and that is to say nothing of the beast tribes. Unless we learn to live in harmony, the primals, too, will return to plague us again, and again, and again. And yet, despite all of this, your deeds serve to inspire the people, to give them hope for a better tomorrow, and there is no greater gift. That we have the courage to strive forth for what might otherwise seem an impossible peace, we owe no small part to the dangers you have faced on our behalf, and the people you have won over to our cause in doing so. Our list of enemies has been ever long, but think of the allies with whom we are now blessed. Of the sylphs of Little Solace, who wish naught of conflict. Of the Alabegans and the Domans who stand with us determined to halt the dread march of the Empire. And then there is Sid and the Fellowship of Noah, racing to unlock the mysteries of the ancient Alig, that we might be spared the horror of another Ultima weapon. Already did that stuff. We're good there. Of course, when speaking of our greatest allies, we must not forget those closest to us, by which I mean our fellow Scions. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Ascians, and combat it we shall. Your enthusiasm is truly heartwarming, Antecedent. Given our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust it will not inconvenience you unduly if I absent myself for a time. Alphino! I take it the troubles in Uda no longer require your attention? There are yet some rumblings of discontent, but the air of simmering violence is largely dissipated. 'Tis to report such that I stand before you now. That, and to speak with you concerning the new organization we discussed. Oh, goodness. Ah, I have a message for you from Ahem. You recall the refugee girl? The one whose parents were missing? They were found unharmed. She wished me to pass on her thanks to you. Oh, goodness. I've got such a tickle in my throat. I definitely need a second to go get a drink. It seems I can't do this without one. I'll be right back. Goodness. Okay. Very, very sorry about that. I thought I'd be okay. I was running a little behind, so I didn't want to be late, so I didn't make myself a drink ahead of time, and now I'm regretting it. Why, Alphinaud, am I to understand that you made the effort to remember the poor girl's name? I look forward to reading all about her in your report. I do hope you left nothing out. Dahala, you may have been away from Revenant's Toll for some time now, I believe. Might I suggest that you put the affairs of the realm to the side for the moment and take this opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the town? Which reminds me, one of the Doman children recently inquired as to your whereabouts. Yozan was his name? I believe he has some small matter he wishes to share with you. Why not oblige him with a visit? Well, it's all the kids. Roka, Koharu, Yozan, Shion. Look! It's Miss Dahala! She's back from her adventures! We heard you were off fighting primals, and that they're some sort of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could have seen you in battle! Anyway, we all want to be heroes too, so we finally formed our very own Doman Adventurers Guild to protect all the Domans. Oh, do you think you could train us today, Miss Dahala? Maybe you could show us how you fought the primals. What's all this commotion then? Mr. Boulder, Mr. Coltonet, did you know that Miss Dahala is back? So it would seem. Welcome home, Dahala. My companion and I about recently became full members of the Scions, and I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I am known as Hoary Boulder, and this bookish fellow is Coltonet. Though we remain largely unproven as adventurers, we have taken it upon ourselves to instruct the Doman younglings in the art of combat. Ugh! I told you, Mr. Boulder! We're not younglings anymore! We are adventurers! And we were just talking to Miss Dahala if she could give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside her, don't you? Well, you've certainly been diligent with your drills, but I'm afraid the fiends of Mordona are still ever so slightly too dangerous for you. I have a counter-proposal. What if we were to cross swords with Dahala? A demonstration of skill at arms, if you will. Hori, if I didn't know you better, and I do, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against a legend. Well, maybe I am. But what matters is the motive when the children stand to learn so much. But what matters of the motive when the children stand to learn so much from the lesson? What say you, Dahala? Would you be content to spar with me? Hurrah! We're to have a tournament! Come on, everyone, we must prepare our gear for an outing! Do try not to disappoint them, Have faith, Coltonet! I shall summon every last ounce of my strength to make worthy of this contest. The fields to the east of town should prove suitable for our purpose. I very much look forward to our bout. I wonder who's gonna get the lesson. You or the kids? Still, this is a cute little side-tracking quest. I like it. I love kids, so entertaining even digital kids is amusing. Oh, it's one of those things, huh? Alright, Mr. Boulder. 'Twas good of you to agree to this, Dahala. I trust you're ready to begin? Well, as ready as I'll ever be. Very well. Let's not keep the young ones waiting any longer. They're adventurers, not young ones. Ahem. Hori, are you certain you wish to fight her alone? That is Dahala you face. What better way to test my mettle? Pray allow me to attempt the first round unaided. After all, 'twas this hero's legend that led me to join the Scions to begin with. Without Dahala to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. Your point is well made, but remember, this is for the children's sakes as well as your own. Should it appear the contest will end too swiftly, I shall add my spells to your blade work. Well, I'm glad he isn't offended by that. Hello! You haven't begun yet, have you? Yida? What? Who are all these people? When I heard about your sparring match, I told everyone I could find. Thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on. Yes, and there are still more to come. When I mentioned Dahala's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. Why, my own popularity seems but a sickly shade in comparison. You'd best claim victory, Bringer of Light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake. Well, our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. You can win, Mr. Boulder. Aw, you guys are so cute. We shall soon see. On your guard. He's so happy. Oh, I missed a chance to get that grin. A lot faster than I thought it was gonna be. Mr. Boulder won't lose, will he? It's not over yet. It can't be. The children have the right of it. Well, now all my buffs are wore off. That's not fair. On your feet, Ori. You've bested me. I yield. That was incredible! She beat them both at the same time! We knew you couldn't lose, Dahala. None can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. Now I see why they send you to deal with the primals. I've much work to do if I'm ever to attempt the same. Okay, that was such a cute distraction. Impressive as always, Dahala. 'Tis ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. And judging by the smiles on these many faces, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardian of Eorzea. Yes, that is a most fitting title. Do you recall when we first met? 'Twas at the memorial service for the Battle of Carteneau. No, it wasn't. You were in the carriage with me when I first arrived at Ul'dah. I remember, even if you don't, because you were sleeping. At the time, I was yet attempting to understand this land of Eorzea. I sought to grasp the reason why Grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. I shall speak plainly. My initial impressions were far less than favorable. Dire problems abounded, and yet the effort I saw expended towards their solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles their home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear allegiance to Gaius and the order he proposed to enforce. The legatus' single-minded military invasion precluded any such switching of loyalties, of course. Were it not for a desire to continue Grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to its fate long ago. The threats were too many, the nations too self-involved and unstable. 'Twas you who convinced me the salvation of Eorzea was possible. 'Twas you who taught me, through the countless acts of bravery, that what my grandsire sought to preserve was not the land, nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people, these wonderful, oft infuriating, stubborn people that suffer blow after terrible blow only to drag themselves back to their feet to face another day. Though he never put such feelings into words, I believe Grandfather's admiration for this inextinguishable courage grew into a fervent wish, a wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. A wish that has now become my own. I, too, will endeavor to take up the mantle of Guardian of Eorzea and champion these people who toil towards a better world. Our cause, however, is not a simple one. The troubles that plague us are of a scale that cannot be solved by the scions of the Seventh Dawn alone. No, what is needed to tackle the root of the primal threat and effectively counter the schemes of the Ascians is a new, expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you would aid me in building such an organization, then pray let us continue this discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stones. Definitely feel a lot better now that I've got fluids. I am so sorry about that for earlier. Thank you for coming, Dahala. The world shifts and alters, and we, my friend, must ever be one step ahead of the chaos. What I propose is the formation of a new organization, a group that shall pave the way for a truly united Eorzea. Oh, okay. You want to make a new organization to do the same things that we're already doing, but on a bigger scale, so why not just make this organization have a bigger scale? Does that not math right? It does not compute? Pray forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I would first speak of the grand plan. Excuse me. Since the advent of the 7th astral era, the leaders of the three nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring the desperate forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military might of such an institution would be drawn from every corner of the land and directed against the threats that no single nation could hope to overcome alone. Yet while the purpose of this hypothetical organization is undisputed, the logistics of its formation have become the source of endless debate. And the longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus towards unification draining away. Thus, I have been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trial company. It will be on a much smaller scale than that and now I can't read. It would be on a much smaller scale than what we would hope to eventually achieve, but capable of the same manner of unrestricted operations accorded to the Scions. 'Tis my hope that the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to the lagging deliberations. Also, being a primarily military outfit, I mean to assuage fears of its misuse by placing the fledgling organization under the authority of the antecedent. The Scions work tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. But you, as you yourself have witnessed with the refugee revolt, there are limitations to what even we can achieve. With this new company under the Scion's command, however, we will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talents. The goals of my proposed organization and those of the Scions are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. But before I can move forward with establishing this precursor to the true border-spanning Grand Company, 'tis yet necessary that I visit the three leaders and gain their official approval. A tiresome and time-consuming task, which is why I would ask that you accompany me on the journey, and attend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members, while I am otherwise engaged with bureaucratic formalities. Thank you. 'Tis reassuring indeed to know that the Bringer of Light and her discerning eye will be selecting our future allies. Again, why don't we just have them join the Scions in the first place and just put the I figure that's kind of what he's doing, is he's creating this organization, but it's still part of the Scions. It's now the military branch of the Scions, but it sounds overly complicated to me. Our first destination will be Limsa Lominsa. Let us rendezvous at the Bulwark Hall. It does seem a little bit extra steppy to me. Like, I see absolutely no issue with just adding more personnel to the Scions instead of spending all that time and people and resources making an entirely another organization that works for the Scions. But I can't say I understand everything about politics. So maybe this is the necessary way to do it. There you are. I am ready to ascend to the bridge and speak with Admiral Blosfaswin. While the Admiral and I are finalizing promissory boundaries and signing parchments, I would have you begin the recruitment process in earnest. I have, of course, endeavored to spread the word of our organization through various channels, but I believe a personal approach will reach many who may otherwise remain ignorant of the opportunity. As for potential members, 'tis of no matter should they be already pledged to another institution, only that they are willing to lend their strength when the situation demands it. And you needn't range into the countryside. The upper decks alone are populated with sufficient candidates to suit our purpose. Once you are satisfied with your recruiting efforts, meet me at the airship ticket counter that we might prepare for the next leg of our journey. What do you call a ghost that refuses to stay in a haunted house? Oh, so he's asking it again. What do you call a ghost that refuses to stay in a haunted house? I don't even know where these guys are standing, but I can hear them. A free spirit! Okay, now that I've got the joke, I can move on. I was like, I want to know the answer to this joke. Okay, I'm not seeing markers where I need to go next, but I know that I need to be around here. Well, upper decks, that's for sure. There. Just so that, you know, they know that they are funny. Because I did giggle. Alright, so we want to go to the upper decks. Alright, let's try the Marauder's Guild first. There we go. That might have helped make their day a little bit. That other person was being a little mean. Just let someone tell a joke. If you don't want to listen, then just don't read it. Master Alphinaud's new organization? Yes, I had heard of the formation of his trial company was in the offing. 'Tis with regret, however, that I must decline your invitation. As commander of the Yellow Jackets, the protection of Limsa Lominsa must needs receive my full attention. That is very fair. Why the hell am I trying to talk to a commander of an organization? I should be talking to people that are in the lower ranks that are definitely free and able to come to my assistance without needing to worry about logistics of their other job. But I'm sure he was still honored I asked. Oh, who's this guy? An organization with the freedom to operate with territorial impunity? I must say, your proposal intrigues me. But the Krakens well know that there is a time to act and a time to watch. And I'm afraid this trial company of yours falls into the latter category. I don't blame you. I've got nothing really to offer you in terms of why the hell you should join us. Unless you, like, absolutely gung-ho believe in what we're doing and that we can actually do something with it. Let's see, where do I have to go next? Well, let's run over here, use the Aetherite, because we need to jump down to the aft castle area, I think is what that Aetherite is. Yeah. Okay, let's start here. So, thus far, 2 people, 2 no's, both of which were very reasonable in why they were declining. One was a commander and had way too much responsibility. Why did these guys remind me of, like... What's the word I want to look for? You know how in manga, you see like those Japanese kids who want to act thuggy and badass sit like this? I wonder if it's comfortable. Eh? Who the bloody hells do you think you're talking to, Drylander? I'm a pirate, not some sodding knight in shining plate. If you're looking for a self-righteous fop, try knocking on the dandy Carvalian's door. Wow! Wow! That's all I can just... Wow! Okay then. Tell me how you really feel. A precursor to a United Eorzean Grant Company. While I do admire the scope of your ambition, my responsibilities here at Naldik and Vimelis keeps me close to the forge. I have no time to be traipsing hither and yon across the realm. Should you require my skills as an armorer, however, I might be willing to accept some special commissions. I'm getting a whole lot of no's. I guess I'm just not popular enough. They don't love me! That sounded so whiny. Hey, I kind of remember this guy. Where do I remember him from? dudes. He was the one who told me what the secret was and where to find the Aetheryte to fight Titan. That's who he is. Okay, I'm glad I remembered. I'm so proud of myself, I remembered. Well, if it ain't Dahala, I'd not forget adventurer brave enough, or daft enough, to seek the shortcut into Titan's bedchamber. You remember old Real, don't you? Formerly owed a company of heroes. 3 whistles at Bronze Lake? Aye, it ain't often I drag me arse out to Limsa for a drink, but I'm right glad I did. How fare you these days? Huh? You're looking to put together a new crew? Top tier work? Ha! Sounds like a right lark, it does. Alrighty, lass, count me in. The heroes may have gone their separate ways, but I ain't ready to climb into me grave just yet. I got a yes! I am very pleased that I have gotten a yes. And he seems like a right sort fella. At least he's got more manners than that pirate lady did. Good grief. A simple no would have worked. Alright, where is a close-by Aetheryte that I can just... I am on the wrong side. We're gonna have to take a bit of a long way to get to an Aetheryte. Here... Oh! You know what? Let's just do that. That's way faster. Alright, there you are, Alphino. Dahala, your recruiting went well, I trust? I am curious as to how my proposal was received by the rough and ready folk of Limsa Lominsa. Ah, a member of the legendary company of heroes indicated his interest? Astonishing. I knew enlisting your aid was the right choice. Few could boast the acquaintance of such an elusive character. I, too, was successful in my task. The Admiral consented to sign all the documents requiring her approval. I can only hope that my visit with the Elder Seedseer proceeds as smoothly. Pray continue on to Gridania at your own pace. I shall await your arrival at the Nofix altar. Oh, whoa, what the heck kind of weapon is that? That looks so cool. Is that some kind of scythe? Dude. I'm old. Leave me alone. I'm gonna use the slang I want to. My audience with this Elder Seedseer is due to commence momentarily. I would be grateful if you would once more see to the task of recruitment here in Gridania. After you deem the well of potential candidates has run dry, let us rendezvous at the airship ticket counter as before. Ain't that hunky-dory. Okay. Let me see now. Might would be best to go here, go up, around, and around. often a guild officer such as myself gets recruited, and this company of yours certainly sounds to have some promise. But its duties appear less than focused. I must refuse your invitation until such time as your organization is more organized. Fair enough, fair enough. You have a point. We are kind of a lot of this is what we want for the future and not a lot of how we're gonna get there. That's very fair. Looks like I'm mostly gonna get the eager, the romantic, the idealist ones, and the realists will show up afterwards when we've kind of proven ourselves a little bit. And I think that's fair enough, because that kind of proves that we deserve their trust. You would offer this old man a place in your company of champions? I am both puzzled and honored by your invitation. Pray forgive me, young mistress, but I cannot accept. I have sworn to abide here for whatever scant years remain me, and bear responsibility for the evils my lady has wrought upon this land. You know, self-imposed punishment isn't as, redeeming as you think it is. Helping other people to make up for that and to undo some of that, that is genuinely redeeming. But to each their own. Fair enough. Oh, I remember these guys. They're, we found them outside one of the dungeons. The guy had, taken a misstep. He was a little too excited and almost fell off an edge or something, and they had to eat a fruit to heal before they died, or something, I think was how it went. Grandfather, you must call it a day. Let us return to the guild and rest ere your tormented back gives up on you for good. I'm terribly sorry, we were just... Oh, Dahala, isn't it? It's been some time since our paths last crossed outside of the Copperbell Mines. See, I've met them. Why, you were barely more than a novice adventurer then, but look how far you've come. Mother Moon tells me that it was you who felled the fearsome Black Wolf. And now you seek stout-hearted souls to fill the ranks of a new order? Well, your cause is undoubtedly just, and my old companion here would be much relieved to see me in good hands. Yes, I'll do it. This is the very thing I've spent my entire adventuring career working towards. I shall join your company just as soon as I've seen Isildur safely home. Well, that's great. But, you know, he can come too. Goblin cat, fat chuckle head, or no. Okay, so what we wanted was... Okay, so we already have beady eye. We have that one. We have that one. We don't have that one. We don't have that one. I'll wind up Odin. Oh, and that's all we can afford right now. But hey! We got a couple of new friends to hang out with us while we play. Alright. Now let us continue. I just thought, you know, since we were in the area, it couldn't hurt. That also reminds me. Right, some of them you have to actually claim the reward. Okay. Is there a way to filter this that only shows complete ones? There we go. So we've actually gotten a few. Some of these I have no idea. Obviously I'm not gonna have any of those. Leaving a good impression. Oh, I've already gotten that. Part of the park. Earn a cumulative of 100 gold for levy quest. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted with that. I just wanted to really quick because I remembered that sometimes you have to actually claim it. That also reminds me. Go into profile, and here. So we have Of the Silver Lining or Heart of the Party as a title. Let's pick this one. There. Now I have a title, and I feel special. Laurentius. Hey, isn't that the guy that was selling information to the Garleans for money? Because he was like, I'm not getting paid enough to do the work I do? Right, and then he turned himself in at the end. So has he turned over a new leaf? Well, he's out of jail now, so I guess they forgave him. Oh gods, can it truly be you? By what fickle fortune must the first face I see upon my release be yours? Eh? Can it be you don't remember me? It's I, Laurentius, the man whose crimes you exposed. I was a whaler, and a regular patron at Buscaron's. Well, of course you do. I was beginning to wonder if Gale had changed me more than I realized. Not that I have any particular wish to be recognized after my shameful conduct. Ugh. The less said of my past, the better, I suppose. And what of you, adventurer? What business brings you to this part of Gridania? Recruiting, eh? And what is your policy on reformed convicts? As matters stand, the Wood Whalers will have naught more to do with me. This may just be the second chance I was looking for. Revenant's toll, you say? I shall leave at once. You shall not regret this. I promise you, I am a changed man. Hey, I have no problem giving somebody who genuinely wants to change a chance. I think this is great for him. He'll finally get the chance to make the changes to a better world that he really wanted to make before reality caught up and he got really, really upset with reality. You know, that by himself, as a singular person, there's only so much change he could affect, and it wasn't enough, fast enough for him to feel pride. I just hope he doesn't get discouraged and fall into the same trap again. What news, Dahala? For my part, the Elder Seedseer was most amiable to my requirements. A former wood whaler and a seasoned adventurer? Our company will not lack for variety, that much is certain. An interesting harvest indeed. Shall we strike into Ul'dah whilst the iron is hot? Let us meet at the Royal Promenade and endeavor to conclude our remaining business. Our journey draws to a close. Gilda, the gilded city where one's fortunes defines one's worth. I hope some matter of fortune is with us, and that this final leg proves as successful as the previous two. Might I suggest descending into the lower level before beginning your recruitment efforts? I do not think the Sultana will take kindly to us poaching from her personal guard. Let us meet back here at the promenade when our respective tasks are complete. Good hunting, Dahala. What, I can't go after the guild leader of the paladins? Because, I mean, he's a good guy. He'd be a great teammate. Especially now that he's not so blind and zealous. But I guess not. So where are we going? Let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3... Let's go here. Grab this guy, then teleport over here and go to this one. Aldous would be another one. Not that Aldous would accept. He would totally turn me down. Because he wouldn't be able to go play with all the beauties he wanted when he wanted. Wilred? Hey, isn't that the kid who tried to summon, Ragnar or something like that? Huh? Wait, you're the lady who came to Little Alamigo looking for that masked devil. Who knows what might have happened if you hadn't. I'd probably be dead, and a whole lot more of my friends besides. We were such fools. Any road, that disaster really got me to thinking about our homeland, and about the outsider who saved us from ourselves. I realized how easily I'd been manipulated and vowed to make myself a more worldly man. So here I am, a new company of champions. And you say it will take me to all corners of the realm? That sounds exactly like the kind of opportunity I need. And don't worry, I'm not the same person you met in Little Alamigo. I prepared myself to fight the evil I know is out there. Aw, that's great! I get to work with that kid? I'm so glad. I totally forgive you for trying to kill me. I kind of feel bad I couldn't save more of his friends. The Masked Carnivale? Are you guys, like, gambling over here or something? Is that what this is? Nope, you're digging in a bucket of rocks. Okay. Have fun with your bucket of rocks. I hope you find what you're looking for. Oh, Sister Orson! Oh, what a happy coincidence. Do you remember me, perchance? I am Orson of the Church of St. Adama Landama. Thank you again for your timely rescue. And I must also thank you for preventing that fraudulent priest from preying on dry bones less fortunate. A most upsetting business. Are you here with your companion? Dancred, wasn't it? Ah, 'tis new companions you seek then. Your proposed organization sounds a powerful force for good, but my place is with the church, with the children. Nevertheless, I wish you very well in this undertaking. Aw, that's sweet. Thanks, sister. Don't worry, I'll protect all the children. And that's how they get me one day. And I won't regret it. I'm sorry? You wish to recruit me? Is this some new-fashioned manner of propositioning a lady? Well, I'm afraid you're wasting your time. This lady is already spoken for. Good day to you, miss. I have a boyfriended? Oh my god! conniving ne'er-do-well. The family ain't interested unless you got a business proposal, pal. Got it? Good. Now get the hells out of here. What family? Hey, you'd be surprised what rumors drift down to Pearl Lane. I know of this glorious new company of yours, and just how far I'd go to avoid getting involved in it. Whispers on the street says your organization is funded by corrupt coin, by syndicate money. If you think you're recruiting for a just cause, then you're a bigger fool than I took you for. Lambert. Does that name seem familiar? I don't like the implications of what he's saying, though, but, at the same time, why do I remember... Was he, was he one of the guys that was out at Gridania earlier? Maybe? Oh, I don't remember. I don't know why I remember the name Landberg. A company that looks to clear the ills of the realm in time? Listen, friend. I can scarce bear the complaints of the next stall over, let alone the conundrums of a neighboring nation. Fair. Very, very fair. Gotta have a lot of empathy and compassion to do the type of job that we're asking you to do, and if you genuinely don't think you have it, it is very fair for you to say that you don't, and I can respect that. How fared you, Dahala? What hidden gems in the streets of Ul'dah did you find in your with your unrelenting gaze? A single Alamegan youth? Well, you've certainly given us an admirable start, even if our ranks are yet somewhat thin. In these troubled years following the calamity, talk of Eorzea's salvation must seem akin to grasping at clouds. But there are those who have risen to the challenge nonetheless, and the hope that inspired these people was born in no small part from the victories you yourself have won. Thank you, Dahala. I will not squander the precious gift you have placed into my keeping. These recruits will become the foundation of a new beginning. And yes, we are free to begin. As you have no doubt surmised, the Sultana also graced my trial company with her blessing. Our first wave of recruitment is over, the documents signed, and the finances secure. There's naught to prevent me from taking the next step. You are concerned by the syndicate's involvement? As was I. Thus was the origin of every coin of their contribution carefully scrutinized and recorded. This organization will not be built on corruption. Naturally, I would prefer not to rely upon outside sources at all, but even my family's substantial coffers could not sustain a venture of this magnitude. And as for the rumors and doubts surrounding this enterprise, well, such things shall plague us until the company has had the chance to prove its worth. It will not be an easy process, but we will earn people's trust one success at a time. Speaking of time, we shouldn't waste any more of it. Let us return to the Rising Stones and lay the first stone for a unified Eorzea. Alright. Nature is calling and you can't put her on hold, so I will be right back. Oh, cutscene. You're just gonna be stuck at the cutscene then, guys, I'm sorry.
Tell me, General, what think you of Alphino's bold endeavor?
Alright, and I am back. Just real quick, getting everything back into place. And then we can continue. Tell me, General, what do you think of Alphino's bold endeavor?
I think it is more than bold, Your Grace. His organization would pave the way for a united Eorzea. Well do I understand his impatience, since facing the common threat of the Ultima weapon, our nations have seemed farther apart, not closer together. Considering the many problems we face, should we not be glad that someone else is taking the initiative?
We have all pledged our cooperation, yet the grumbling continues behind closed doors. Ul'dah is not alone in her duplicity. I myself have doubts as to the good this organization will achieve. With the inclusion of the finest soldiers of the 3 grand companies, it promises to be a fearsome military body. But whom will it serve? Even under the watchful gaze of the Scions, it is not unthinkable that such a force could perpetrate a great wrong. Does it not concern you that a significant proportion of its financial backing came from the coffers of the Syndicate? That those unprincipled worms might forge this extraordinary gathering of warriors into a private army?
I have trust in the Scions, Your Grace. They have spared us no end of trouble at the hands of the Primals. If they seek reinforcements, I deem it unwise to deny them. As for their finances, full many gave generously. And though our nobles proffered a sizable sum, their coin did not spill from the pockets of Lolorito and his cronies. And what of the presence of our stalwart adventurer friend in this endeavor? I doubt the Warrior of Light would betray our cause.
Yes, there is that, I suppose. Yet I have known people to change. Whether we will or no, the events of the age hurl us this way and that, like a dust devil skipping across the sands. Cannot be done about Telechi?
I have explored all avenues available to us, Your Grace. But as Ul'dahn law now stands, we lack the evidence to convict him of any crime. To arrest him on spurious grounds would only play into his hands.
He has all but committed treason, and yet we can do nothing? Then what good our government? What worth the royal house? How deplorable this mockery of justice!
Oh, sweetie!
Have faith, Your Grace. It is not over.
No. Teleji, you mean bully making that poor girl cry. Well. Them rumors of the Syndicate, we've already seen how insidious these guys are. Like, Lolorito uses his power to spit on the Scions by preventing a Aetherite being put near the town where we have our headquarters, and instead puts a statue of himself as if to say, you can't do shit without my permission. And now Teleji, we've seen him try to do this whole thing of completely sacrificing all of these innocent lives to start a revolution or a revolt of some kind, just so that people be like, we hate the refugees, get the fuck out. Like, I don't like the Syndicate. At all. And the rumors that they were giving us money just makes me nervous. But Alphinaud's pretty confident he knows where all the money came from. But I've seen, like, I don't think I've ever seen it in real life, thank God. That would put me in a lot more danger if I saw it in real life. But, like, you see it in the movies and stuff, and where people have shell companies that have absolutely nothing to do with them, but they just use it, like, as a face to use their money for something without being caught. And I'm pretty sure that that's something that's going on. If other people are already saying the Syndicate is involved in giving you money, then they probably know something we don't. Like, some of those people that gave us money aren't real people. They're just names on paper and don't exist. I have that feeling, and it's giving me a really bad feeling about all of this. Well, that is a journey I do not soon wish to repeat. But I cannot pause to rest. The culmination of all our efforts is at hand. I must see the preparation for the inaugural ceremony. Thank you for allowing me to monopolize your services, Dahala. I'm certain the antecedent will be relieved to see you free for other duties. Oh yes, I'm just everyone's little run-around gopher girl. Greetings, Dahala. Alphinaud tells me all is in place to begin his trial company. The Scions shall certainly be grateful to have the support of such an organization. The inaugural ceremony is set to take place here at the Rising Stones. Tataru is cooperating with Alphinaud to see that all is in readiness, so I'm afraid the recruits themselves have been left to wander to their own devices at the time being. Quite a number of new faces have arrived in Revenant's Toll of late, and I wonder if Slathborn might not find himself overwhelmed. Would you speak to him and see if there's aught he requires? I suppose that's fair. If we're bringing in a whole lot of new faces, we might as well help out the old faces too. Get used to the new ones. Slappy the man! What can I do for you, Dahala? I thought you'd have your hands full helping out with this new arm of the Scions. Ha! I barely noticed your recruits arrive. It was barely a trickle compared to the flood of treasure hunters we have passed through here every day. While I appreciate your offer of aid, 'tis more your burden that concerns me. I'm told this trial company will answer directly to the antecedent, so I trust that means less work for you in the long run. Slapboard! The shipment! We couldn't... Cotswoman, what befell? We were bringing a shipment to Revenant's Toll, provisions earmarked for the frontier effort. But just as we sought to cross over into Mordona, we were set upon by brigands. I believe they may have been heretics. There were many, too many. We only escaped with our lives by abandoning the supplies. Pray forgive us. There's naught to forgive. Provisions can be replaced, but smart soldiers are hard to find. Take your rest, and I'll have someone along to tend to those wounded. What to do? If heretics are involved, then this is like to be more than a case of simple thievery. Ishgard will need to be informed. Whence did these supplies originate? House Forton. We collected the provisions from Camp Dragonhead proper. Understood. I shall see that they are apprised of this development. Dahala, were you not on good terms with the Knights of House Forton? I will be sending them a missive immediately, of course, but I would also have you travel there and offer your considerable talents. Yes, I realize I contradict my earlier hopes to lighten your load, but I need someone who can help bring this incident to a satisfactory conclusion. Our favorable relations with Ishgard are far too important to risk half measures. Thank you for understanding. I'm certain Lord Hauchefant will be happy of your assistance. We're going on a trip in my favorite rocket ship. Hauchefant, I'm so happy to see you again. The sweetest, nicest guy ever. Well, if it isn't my fine friend Dahala Silverlight, would you care for a plate of roasted crackle? Some mulled wine? No? Ah, I see you have not come to my hall merely to escape the biting cold. I was, in fact, on the verge of opening an urgent missive from Revenant's Toll, and I suspect the timing of your arrival is no coincidence. I love that he's so smart, too. That's why he's in charge! Oh, it's gear. Yay! Upgrades! I like upgrades.
The incident with the new frontier hands? No, you need not elaborate. I have been following their progress with no small amount of interest. Brave men and women all. They do our nation a great service. The existence of a fortified outpost in Mordona will do much to dissuade the Empire from trespassing on Kurthus soil. Right glad am I that you have chosen to lend your support to this endeavor. Never let it be said that House Fortom does not acknowledge the efforts of her allies, or her debts. 'Twas in the spirit of gratitude that I arranged for sundry supplies to be delivered to Revenant's Toll. That the shipment should chance to be waylaid by heretics is poor fortune indeed. Poor fortune, I say, yet not without precedent. If you would know the truth of it, these incorrigible villains grow more organized with each passing day. This new unity of purpose we attribute to their leader, the Lady Iceheart. But though I have devoted significant resources to the task of identifying this woman, we have yet to learn so much as her birth name. What we do know is that the heretics speak of Iceheart in reverent tones, and would gladly embrace death rather than betray her. Such loyalty is rare indeed, and I fear to imagine what so committed a collective might achieve. The brigands have not yet been so brazen as to risk direct confrontation here in Dragonhead. Some few of their number have, however, been sighted not far to the west of here, and with ever-increasing regularity. A visit to Whitebrim Front may bring you the answers you seek. Will you brave the snows, knowing what implacable foes may lie in wait?
That's my job.
Hallone's blessings be upon you! Though I take no pride in the admission, many of mine own countrymen are not so well suited as you adventurers to dealing with such foes. Were they dragons, it might be otherwise.
A dragon I can take on.
But truly,
Human being?
I could not wish for a finer ally. You have done much for my house in the past, and I have no doubt but that I shall have cause to celebrate your deeds again ere long.
I love your confidence.
Should you learn aught of value, pray return to me forthwith. A warm hearth and a warmer welcome shall be waiting for you.
I like Oshapot. He really is the type of character that lets you definitely feel the gratitude. You never once feel like he's just giving you the runaround or wasting your time on goose chases. He genuinely just... I like him. I like him lots. That isn't actually speeding anything up. Hello, Drillmont. Dahala! Is there aught you would ask of me? Pray speak plainly. I'm a man of action and have no need of honeyed words. On the trail of a band of thieving heretics, you say? By the Fury! But you do seem destined to cross paths with those villains. I must confess 'tis a sad truth that these wilds hereabout have indeed grown thick with their number. They strike swiftly without warning and are canny enough to evade our most able trackers. But 'tis not merely their newfound organization that confounds us. The heretics themselves seem somehow changed. I know not what manner of influence this Iceheart wields, but the men we face seem utterly lost in the grip of righteous fervor. 'Tis an unsettling and unnatural zeal. Mayhap you would care to question one of their recent victims? As fate would have it, your arrival came moments after a trader was waylaid on the road. A patrol found the unfortunate fellow lying senseless in the snow and carried him to our infirmary. Assuming he's regained the use of his faculties, the merchant might recall some small detail that could aid you in your task. feeling. Bad feeling. There's another primal coming up, baby. They're waylaying merchants and supplies. They've got a new fanatical unnatural seal. I think a primal. Tell you what happened? Why yes, of course, I'm quite recovered enough for that. Anything to help catch those cowardly black hearts. I was traveling my usual route to Whitebrim Front when a sudden blow sent me reeling. The next thing I know, I was on the ground and several heretics were rifling through my cargo. Arms, armor, crystals, they were taking everything. 'Twas then that one of them noticed my bleary gaze and stalked over to better acquaint my head with his mace. Before darkness claimed me, however, I distinctly heard the words, "Return to Snowcloak." I dare say that is where they were hauling my goods, but you'll not catch me rushing off in pursuit. They tell me 'twas a miracle I survived it all, and I'll not trust my thick skull to save me a second time. Snowcloak, huh? Right, that's the door. Alright. Do I go report that to Drillmont? No, search the wilds of Snowcloak. Okay. Hi-ho, silver away! Purple circle means I'm gonna get attacked. Isn't this where we fought that heretic that was posing as a judge dude, like one of those really important judge dudes? Yeah! Draw your weapons belt! Wait, I recognize you, adventurer. You've come seeking the heretics? Then we share a common purpose. We were on patrol when we chanced across one of their raiding parties and pursued them here. By rights, we should have them cornered in this ravine, and yet they are gone, vanished like icy wraiths. Glimpsed a woman atop the cliff? Could it be Iceheart herself, come to sneer at our folly? And to where did she disappear? The heretics must have discovered a passage through the frozen wall, some hidden tunnel that escaped our notice. We have not the men to risk further investigation. 'Twould be best we were to return to Whitebrim Front and lay our suspicions before Lord Drillmont. appears I owe you my thanks once again. The surviving knights spared no detail in their report. The men you found out near Snowcloak were some of my finest. That they should be bested so handily, I fear I've woefully underestimated the threat these heretics pose. While I understand you might balk at the notion, I must ask that you put aside your mission and consider the stolen provisions lost to us for now. 'Twould be ill-advised to blunder unprepared into what may very well be the lair of our enemy. Pray return to Dragon's Head and inform Lord Holchapont of your discoveries. He will wish to plan contingencies of his own. As for Iceheart and her fanatics, the freezing heights of Snowcloak will not shield them from our justice for long. Well, I'm glad you are very determined. You know, it probably would be faster to go up to the top floor and then fly out from there. Well, maybe.
Your return is most timely. Of their own accord, my thoughts had turned to your task and the progress thereof. I confess, my imaginings tended toward the grim and bloody. But you are here now, and I suspect such frivolous wonderings do little justice to the reality of your travails. Tell me, what did you learn of Iceheart? Indeed, and this transpired at Snowcloak? Of all the highlands, that towering wall has borne the worst of the region's brutal shift in climate. So inhospitable has Snowcloak become that we have still to survey the area in its entirety. Could its frozen heights conceal the heretics' hideaway? Mayhap a more robust reconnaissance effort is in order. Putting such considerations aside for the moment, we still know far too little of this Iceheart. That she is capable of commanding such a band of fanatics bespeaks natural authority, and no small measure of charisma. As much as I would like to fathom this mystery with you, the situation has grown beyond my personal purview. I am bound by duty to inform the Temple Knights and request that they bring this matter to its conclusion. Given the glowing reports the new commander has garnered thus far, I am certain that they can be relied upon to take appropriate action. Though Iceheart's true identity yet eludes us, you have provided us with a point from which to begin. Sometimes it takes but a single stone to prompt an avalanche. On the matter of the stolen provisions, I have already made arrangements for a second shipment to be sent to Revenant's Toll. I could not well allow such an honorable venture to be undermined by one miserable setback.
I don't like the way there's so much foreshadowing going on right now. There's the Syndicate and the new organization coming up. There's this Iceheart and stuff going on in Puerthas. When too much bad stuff is being foreshadowed at the same time, I'm pretty sure anybody would get a little nervous. Which one's going to explode in my face first? Dahala! It is good to see you return to the Toll. How fared you in the frozen wastes of Puerthas? House Forton is to send a second shipment? I must send thanks to Lord Holchapont for his continued generosity. Yet even as our town grows in prosperity, I fear it will attract even greater number of those who would do us harm in the name of greed and power. All of us, Alphinaud's new recruits included, must remain vigilant against such threats. a new crown. While you were away in Querthus, preparations for the inaugural ceremony were all but completed, although Tatru does yet seem somewhat flustered. I've taken enough of your time. Why don't you head into the Rising Stones and see what your frantic receptionist could do with a hand? Oh, Tatru, darling. Right, what does this new crown look like? Okay. Looks kinda cool. These parchments need to be sorted, and these documents... Why even here? Oh, I am sorely tempted to file the lot in my waste paper basket. Ah, Dahala! You startled me. You wish to lend a hand? Splendid! Would you be a dear and hand these uniforms to the new recruits? They're scattered about Revenant's Toll, and I haven't the time to track them all down. The recruits know to don their garb immediately and assemble here in the Rising Stones. You'll want to report directly back to Elfino if you don't want to miss the ceremony. I wonder if the Scions will ever have matching uniforms. A well-funded organization is a well-dressed organization, I suppose. Well, the gang's all here. Hey, guys. Hey, Thancred, you drunk again? Your bout with Hoary Boulder was more stirring than 100 lines of my most passionate poetry. Mayhaps I should arrange a sparring match of my own. You big, giant flirt! Okay, where are all my little babies? Oh, not in this room. Okay. Which means it must be, like, right outside. Yep. Yu Hase? Those who believe this company will see no riches are short-sighted fools. The giving of oneself is an investment in the future. Thus did I sign my name to the cause. These uniforms were a splendid idea. Once our organization has made a name for itself, there shall be a wealth of plenty in selling replica costumes to the adoring masses. Okay, that is a kind of cute thing, but at the same time, what? Where the heck is this guy? Okay, no. Oh, okay, he's above me. Hold on. Look up! Aim a little better. Everyone's... I thought it best to mimic my fellows here, but I admit I have no idea what we're supposed to be doing. Ah! Our new uniforms! I am reminded of my induction into the Wood Whalers. Well, let's hope this career goes a lot better for you than the last one, buddy. And that's all dependent on you. This scarlet garb marks me as a proud member of the Maelstrom and a hearty defender of Limsa Lominsa. Yet in truth, I stand for the betterment of the realm, and thought this new company a fine opportunity to contribute on a grander scale. I like your spirit, buddy. Oh ho! Now that's a striking shade of blue. Put alongside my Maelstrom uniform, my wardrobe will certainly not lack for color. Very true. All the pretty colors. Ilbert, huh? I don't believe we've met. I'm Ilbert, and will have the honor of leading my fellow recruits as captain. Much did I lose to the calamity, and I look forward to aiding others in rebuilding their lives. Sounds like an honorable man. The uniforms were a sure decision. There's no easier method of creating a common bond among what's essentially a band of strangers. Definitely a very clever man, too. Because he does have a point. What better way to build up, unity than to make them all look the same? Same reason why you have a school uniform. So there's less of, things for you to choose to pick somebody for. Not that it really helps, but, you know. Isildur has at last retired from an adventuring life. Though I shall miss his wisdom and irrepressible spirit, I am excited to forge my own path forward. Ah yes, the uniform. Thank you. Truth be told, the thought of pledging myself to such a lofty organization is somewhat intimidating. Yes, I can understand that, really. It is still intimidating, even if you do really agree with it. Riol, my dear! Hello there, lass! Looking for me, was ya? I suggest giving a whistle, but I'm not sure I'd hear it amongst all this hustle and bustle. Oh-ho! Proper uniforms and all! This thing'll cut off the blood to me head. Not to worry, though. I'm sure she'll be fine after making a few adjustments. I can imagine. Don't muck with it too much, buddy. Alright. Where are the last two? Let's go up a little bit. Okay, there's one. Ah! Dahala Silverlight? Gods, I did not expect to meet you strolling around town. The tales of your primal battles were what inspired me to come to Revenant's Toll. 'Tis an honor to receive this uniform from your hands. I shall wear it with pride. Well, I'm glad that you understand the honor that was. Oh, Wilred! Hey, boyo! Little El Amigo could learn much from Revenant's Toll. This town can be so alive in the midst of such devastation. I've never worn aught quite so voluminous. Well, I'm sure I'll grow accustomed to the extra cloth in time. Yeah, you do tend to wear form-fitting stuff. That's okay. You can get butterfly wings for your chocobo! Oh my god! Yes, 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 I want that. Oh my god. Yes, Dahala? Ah, Tatra mentioned you were handing out the new uniforms. I assume you've now met the rest of the recruits? Some few answered the call to arms I put forth through the established grand companies and such. We are not yet an army, but there is much a small corps of elite warriors can achieve. Did I mention I'd thought of a name for the company? 'Tis my hope that it shall soon be known across the breadth of Eorzea. The moment of truth draws near, Dahala. Once the last of the recruits have gathered, I shall make the official announcement.
Comrades, your presence here this day signifies the momentous choice that each of you has made. With your strength now pledged to the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, You are beholden to no single nation. You stand as the vanguard for a united Eorzea. From this moment forth, I declare you Crystal Braves. Let us mend this fractured realm and face our enemies as one. Whether it be the Beastmen and their primals, or the conflict in Carteneau, it is plain that the nations of Eorzea cannot solve the problems which plague the realm. Thus does it fall to some few heroic souls to succeed where they have failed. Come, take your place at the Scion's side as guardians of Eorzea, and together we shall fight for the freedom of all! For the freedom of all!
A rousing speech, Alphino. Or should I say, Crystal Brave Commander Leveilleur?
Please, Antecedent. The title is honorary. I shall not be leading the troops into battle, as it were. We are of the same purpose. Let us join hands and do what must be done to save this land.
The Scions stand ready. I'm eager to see what the Crystal Braves might accomplish. This shall prove an interesting time indeed for the Scions. Yes, I'm listening. So our worst fears are confirmed. The entire Isle. Such power defies comprehension. Truly? Kryl is alive? Thank the 12. I see. Pray, inform me if her condition changes. Yes, I shall pass on your words to Urianger. My thanks. I shall contact you anon. When I learned of the loss of the Isle of Val, I dared not hope that my friend had survived. Yet, by some miracle, it would seem she has. She's still to regain consciousness, it is true, but better that than death. Putting this happy news to one side, we must now endeavor to make sense of the readings taken by the survey party. It appears the etheric disturbance which accompanied the Isle's destruction is of a magnitude alarmingly close to that of Ultima. Could the Ascians be responsible for this devastation as well? I wonder, have you heard aught from the Mother Crystal since the battle with the Garleans? Then she speaks to neither one of us. Heidelin's silence portends naught but ill, I fear. Louisoix, I pray you yet watch over us.
See that the provisions are prepared for transport. Let us hope that this shipment is spared the fate of the last. Winds are uncommon fierce this day. Whoa, that's a lot of people. Oh, so it's gonna give me a whole set. That's awesome. But it's gonna be slow and steady. But that's okay. Upgrade's an upgrade. Try as I might, I cannot shake a creeping sense of dark foreboding. But it avails us not to fret about the unknown. We must concentrate instead on the problems of the present. The primals have been relatively quiet of late, and the beast tribes who summoned them are under constant surveillance by the grand companies. Should any suspicious activity be afoot, you may be certain that we will hear of it. And until such time as a permanent solution to the primal problem has been found, we can do little but wait and observe. As for the Ascians, Urianger is wholly dedicated to finding the means by which we may defeat the dark beings. Let us pray for good tidings on that front. But all of this you knew already. Let us speak then of more concurrent matters, in particular the state of the Crystal Braves. Elfino did well to found the organization, but ensuring its smooth operation is another matter entirely. Though I doubt not that he is doing his best, I felt that a helping hand or two would never go astray. To this end, I offered to send one of the Archons to assist him, but he declined. You know how he can be. Independent to a fault, and singularly loath to accept help. Save, of course, when that help comes from you. Elfino has entrusted countless matters of import to your care in the past, and I believe he would not hesitate to do so again, were you to offer. I should be most grateful if you would go to him and support him in whatever manner you are able. Oh, it's almost 2 o'clock. Now what are we up to, Tancred? A dazzling floral arrangement, each blossom a peerless beauty in her own right. Ah, the blessing and the burden of an overactive imagination. Who are you thinking of? Let's see, are you... Oh, Bigiri, Flamen, Yustola. You pervert. What is it, Dahala? And do be concise. I'm rather busy. Ah, you would lend a hand, you say? I see. Well, now that you mention it, there is a matter that wants for attention. Given its sensitive nature, I was hesitant to entrust it to my braves, but the demands upon my time are such that I had little choice. Which is not to say that my men want for labor. Though we are but newly formed, there is already a great demand for our services, and we are hard-pressed to answer all petitions. But I digress. The fact is, I would sooner attend to this particular matter myself, but my presence is required elsewhere. That being the case, I have entrusted its resolution to my second-in-command, Captain Ilberd. Tell him that I sent you, and he will furnish you with particulars. My thanks in advance, Dahala.
Hail to you, Scion. How might we serve you? Commander Leveilleur bade you serve us? These are welcome tidings indeed. Given the sensitive nature of the task, I could not rely on one of my own. That which I'm about to tell you, I tell you in the strictest confidence.
Well, let me step closer so you don't have to talk so loud.
Some days ago, we received certain documents from an anonymous source. They notified us of the presence of a Garlean agent within the ranks of one of the Grand Companies. Following some discreet inquiries, we identified a suspect among the Immortal Flames, whom we detained for questioning. Alas, the man was not our agent. He was but one of many men in the agent's employ. We pressed the traitor for a name, but he had none to give. He claims never to have met his master, whom he knows only as the Ivy. He was, however, certain that this Ivy had coiled itself around every part of the Immortal Flames. It would seem our quarry joined the company some time ago, and gradually recruited others to his cause. These conspirators are the vines by which he learns our secrets, all without exposing himself. It won't be easy to identify the Ivy amidst this tangled mass of subterfuge, but we have a tendril in our hands, and we shall follow it all the way to the gnarled root. Now, much as I would prefer to proceed with due discretion, circumstances demand that this matter be settled post-haste. Garlemald's War of Succession nears its end, and it is feared that the Empire will soon resume its march on Eorzea. When it does, we can ill afford to have traitors in our midst. The Ivy must be rooted out now. We must begin by apprising General Roban of our findings. I would ask that you accompany me to the Hall of Flames, and remain on hand to see that things go smoothly. Assuming the Ivy's tendrils are as widespread as we believe, he will be aware that an investigation is underway, and if that is the case, he may well move against us. We must be prepared for anything, while taking care not to betray our purposes by seeming prepared. A simple enough task for a one-woman army like you.
All right. So it's pretty much 2 o'clock. So I think here is where we're going to call it. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. I hope you had a lot of fun. I sure did, despite, not having a drink and coughing everybody's ears to death. Sorry about that. So we're going to call it here. And I'll see you next Tuesday, and I hope you have a great week. Bye.